Hi, this next episode with Bobbie Collies is going to be fun. I have known Bobbie for a while before this podcast recording, and she went from national carrier, regional carrier, now to InsurTech carriers. And for anybody who work in the carrier space, you can relate to some of Bobbie's stories. But Bobbie have a really cool job and cool role in her day to day. She meets some of the biggest agent and smallest agent and smartest agent in the country, and her role is how to figure out how to work with each other and how to make all of her agents do better through their carriers, right? So Bobbie has done a lot of things which I thought, you know what, that's super cool. And I wish all my agency partnership is like Bobbie, right? So I invited her on the guest because in my past agencies, I've worked with her and I thought that, she did a really, really good job. So I'm excited to have her on this podcast and hope you enjoyed the episode. Hello, welcome to this episode of Industry Voice. Today we have a special guest. Her name is Bobbie Collies. How are you, Bobbie?
I am great, Jeff. Happy to be here today. It's been too long since we connected.
It has been too long. And the day that I came up with the idea of launching this podcast, talking about the who's who, talking about their stories, be the storyteller of the storytellers. Bobbie, you're on my top of the list.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that and I'm humbled.
So I'm going to go through your LinkedIn real quick, which
Okay.
is for anybody who want to follow Bobbie, please go follow Bobbie. Bobbie with IE, Bobbie. Okay. You have had a long and fun experience in insurance. And I love for our audience to hear your story. How did you end up in insurance? And what is the insurance scene up there in Wisconsin like? What is the community of insurance in Wisconsin like? And also, you stay a little bit on the both side of insurance. You have been in many of the legacy national carriers. And then you also have been in the regional carriers. And today you are with InsurTech carriers as Chief Insurance Officer of Coterie Insurance. So this fun journey and also being around the scene on national side, regional side, InsurTech side, just talk through it. And I'm going to go ahead and turn the mic over to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Jeff. Yeah, what a career so far. I'm in my 21st year, which seems ridiculous. I'm starting to feel old and seasoned in the insurance industry as a vet. But I started my career at a regional mutual in Wisconsin called Coterie Insurance. They're a niche company focusing on commercial lines with a heavy book of business in bars and restaurants. So I started there as a Commercial Lines Underwriter Trainee. Eventually kind of moved up the ranks there to, underwriting desks. Somehow I became the book of business fixer. So anytime there was a loss ratio temperature, they called me and they're like, hey, we're going to put you over here now. You get to fix liquor liability in Iowa, which was always kind of fun just to kind of dig into the data and really figure out like, how do we fix this problem? And so I learned a lot about insurance. I learned a lot about underwriting. I learned way too much about bars and restaurants. It's kind of funny, you're in your 20s, you're underwriting them, you're going to them, you're enjoying yourselves at bars and restaurants. The fun part about society, though, is we had like these little thank you cards. So anytime we patronized a place that we wrote, we would actually leave a thank you card with the bill. So that was kind of fun and a nice little touch. But yeah, from there, I just wanted to like learn how to underwrite larger accounts. So I went to Secura, started underwriting more I would call middle market accounts, more complex commercial lines packages. But at the end of the day, Jeff, like underwriting is underwriting, right? So I'm like, okay, well, this was cool. And I learned a little bit more. But I feel like I need to expand my wings and get a little bit more education in the entire insurance industry. And funny enough, at that point in time, the executive team at Secura asked me to lead a research project for their senior team on how is technology going to impact the insurance industry, specifically the independent agency channel. And that's when I started looking into all of these new, what we were calling InsurTech firms that were popping up. That was the new buzzword back in like 2015, 2016, if you remember. I met, man, like it's so wild to think about this. I met Ben and Ilya from Bold Penguin when it was just Ben and Ilya, and they were talking about this concept around what they were trying to build for Bold Penguin. Yeah. And look at how big they are now. Like a successful exit, like they're actually one of Coterie's best partners, being innovative and like scaling like crazy.
By the way, for the record, I am not sponsored by Bold Penguin. I got that from their InsurTech Connect trade show. And you know what? If anybody have any cool coffee mugs or little mascot, feel free to send it to me. It will make it to the pod.
I'll make sure to get you some Coterie stuff for your wall, Jeff. I also met Mike and Alan from Ask Kodiak at that point in time. They were like, bootstrapping this little, company together. They were building from scratch around appetite for API, and like, what the heck was an API, right? Like, those were the questions I was asking as I was getting into this research project. And
that's definitely making it into our cuts of TikToks. What the heck is API?
Yeah, and then educating myself about an API, and then educating insurance veterans at the time about what an API is and what the future of insurance looks like because of this new type of technology. It was almost mind-blowing, right? So in the walls of a couple of companies I worked at, including Secura, Integrity Grange, there's a lot of like push towards innovation, but a lot of competing priorities, right? So the big ideas were always cool, but it was very hard to pull those types of carriers into this world of like, we need to do something big and bold. And Jeff, you know this, they're running good loss ratios, their growth rates are healthy. There's like really no reason for them to do things that are big and bold. And so that's kind of where like why I landed at Coterie. I had a lot of ideas and a vision for, API as a distribution line, and being able to do business where agents want to do business, right? And gone were the days of like, we're going to have the best, agency portal in the world and everybody's going to come to us. So I saw the world shifting from a very carrier-centric model to more of an agency-centric model where we were going to have to meet agents where they want to do business in order to be successful moving forward. And some of that was fueled by just the nature of some of the startups that were coming into the InsurTech world, trying to disrupt at first, but then recognizing disruption was hard and shifting into how do we like really try to partner with carriers and agents and coalesce in this world where we can support them to make their lives easier and more efficient. So I've been with Coterie 2.5 years now, which kind of seems like 15. I talk about startup world. It's like dog years. 1 year is like 7 years. So they go by fast and you accomplish so much in a small period of time. So it's all relative, right? The speed at which I moved when I was in a traditional or regional carrier versus the speed moving at a startup, it's very different. So
while you were at the regional carrier, and what was that first conversation like? Who approached who, like, the thought of Coterie popping up? How did that dating start? And then you're like, you know what? I'm going to just go join them. I mean, there's a lot of people out there who are listening, and that might be insurance, and think about, do I want to be a part of the InsurTech community and join an InsurTech organization? So as they're listening, what was the thought process like for you when you were going through it? Thank you for all your support to our channel. Here is a quick word from our sponsor. Please click on the link below in the comment section to sign up for a demo with Track AI.
What if your insurance sales conversations could work harder for you? Meet Track, your AI-powered conversation intelligence partner. Track automatically captures and analyzes every customer interaction, providing instant call summaries, risk analysis, and AI-driven coaching insights. Say goodbye to manual note-taking and hello to more selling time. Track handles the admin work while you handle the revenue. Fully integrated with your favorite platforms. Plus, get custom AI analysis tailored to your unique business needs. Transform your sales team's performance with Track. Visit track.ai today.
Click the link in the description below to schedule a demo with Track today.
Part of it is my personal personality traits. I'm impatient. I'm creative. I like to try new things, right? And so part of it was just, I've done kind of as much as I can, right, in these regional mutuals, and I kind of want to do something else. I want to learn something more. But I think the opportunity itself was just born out of this crazy cool network of insurance people that I've met over the years. And I think Ray Lynch. Ray actually joined Coterie while it was pretty young. And he started the distribution role there. He wanted to move over into product and play around there and expand, his resume and, his learnings within InsurTech. So he called me and he's like, hey, I think we're ready for you. He's like, I want to go do this product thing. I need someone that I trust to come in and help us drive the growth team. It took him a while to convince me to do it, but after about 6-7 months, I decided to join the Coterie team, and the rest is kind of history. So, we're scaling like crazy, Jeff. We 2x last year. We should almost 2x this year, and slightly below that again next year. But our premium size by the end of next year will be bigger than some of the regional mutual carriers that I worked with who were over 100 years old, right? So it's crazy to think how fast we've scaled. And it's been primarily through API. So good thing I learned what that was back in 2016. We have about 70% of our business that is transacted new through our API connections, whether those are through platforms like, Bull Penguin, Talage, Tarmica, IDP, SEMC. I'm going to forget someone and make someone mad. Sorry, but we're basically in all of those platforms that agents are using for comp rating, as well as a lot of direct integrations with some partnerships.
By the way, you brought up a name, and I just want to give him a shout out. Shout out to Ray Lynch.
Yeah.
He was one of my favorite person at Coterie, and absolutely convinced us at the time to sign with Coterie. And then, your previous carrier that you left, you were my favorite rep over there. I was like, oh man, this is going to be great. We got Bobbie over here. We got Ray over there. And then you left. I was like, no. But shout out to Ray, man. He's a good dude.
He's doing great things. And I met him when he was at Liberty still. So he's doing some great things now over in the K2 team. It's been a little quiet, but I'm sure you'll see him pop up a little bit more as they build out the cool thing that they're building. I don't want to steal his thunder, so I'm just gonna
hold up.
Be like, just watch for it. It's gonna be.
I gotta get Ray. Can you do me a favor? Can you text Ray and get him on the pod so this way that he can give us the snippets of what they're building over at K2?
Yeah.
Awesome, man. That's cool. So looking forward, and do you go to events if people want to meet with you and say, hey, I want to meet Bobbie from Coterie?
Yeah.
What events are you going to in the upcoming quarters and month?
Yeah. So I just actually got home from Applied Net yesterday.
What was that?
It was awesome. Like 6,000 people in Nashville, all excited about insurance. A lot of folks there really pushing innovation. They had like a big product wall with sticky notes where anyone from the conference could throw up ideas. But it's amazing, Jeff, to see just like in the last 5 years, the exponential growth of innovation within our industry, whether that's, someone like Applied who's been around for a while, you're really starting to see innovation come through their products. And they introduce some really cool new stuff. So again, don't want to take away their thunder, but look at their press release from this week that really supports the why behind the acquisition of Plank, with data and AI and some LLM and ML stuff that's just ridiculously, really cool. So super excited to see how they're going to start to better support the independent agency channel through some of the new technologies that they're building. And then it's a really good supplement and augmentation to what Coterie is doing as well. So I was just there. I'll be at ITC in October. And then I have a couple just like very specific partner events that I'm going to. But kind of scaling back a little bit some of my travel and letting the team be the face of Coterie as of late.
You have a good team over there. Brittany, Catherine, you have a pretty good team, and people understand social media, understand connecting with customers.
Yeah. Paige is our like social media expert.
Paige.
She's
Paige.
She's like a 4-person team in one body. She's amazing.
I like it, giving credits. I love it. So innovation side, right? You guys got to keep on innovating. You're the InsurTech darling. So what is coming on the timeline for Coterie on innovation side?
Yeah, Jeff, here's kind of the thing with Coterie. Like we built the big sexy thing, right? So we're trying to make sure that we refine that. So quote to bind within an average of 57 seconds right now is what our agents are experiencing. So how do we refine that, right? So we want to continuously, bring more data into our model. So we're underwriting smart and we're underwriting with good loss ratios on behalf of our carrier partners. We also, the more data that we get, the further up market we can move. So we're really trying to open up our appetite as much as we possibly can as we get new data points in, as well as integrate some more AI tools to really try to focus on where do we want to engage with our agents more digitally, and where is it really important that we still have that human connection. So we're trying to basically refine what we have to be more scalable, but then also offer the same experience that our agents love with the speed, simplicity, and service of quote to bind on more types of risks and more lines of business. So that's kind of what the future holds for the next couple of years. And we're doing some discovery around non-admitted products. I'm not going to give any wild timelines there, but that's just something that we're considering as a team. Is do we move into that space too, so we can be more of a one-stop shop for all of those small commercial risks for our agents.
So I'm sure there's other listeners out there that have questions. When is Coterie moving into their states?
So we are in all 50 states, right?
You're in all 50 states now?
We're in all 50 states and DC. We have some limitations on property in Florida for obvious reasons. We don't write building, and we have some coastal restrictions. We also don't write building on our BOP in Hawaii or Alaska, but that is more because the availability of data on property is very slim. So we don't have enough data to feed our automated underwriting model to feel confident that we're writing good risks there.
Is there a plan for work comp and commercial auto?
Getting paper for commercial auto is very difficult. So I would say commercial auto is not in the future. We are having a healthy debate between what's the next big product, between do we go non-admitted, do we go down the work comp path? Right now the team's working on enhancing our current product suite. So we partnered with Berkeley to do some fully seated products. So we'll be adding cyber, EPLI, workplace violence shortly. We're going to expand our PL product. Right now that is only in 32 states. Our plan is to expand that to 50 as well in the coming months. And then also do some refreshes to our bot product that are going to be a little bit more coverage friendly to some of the classes of business that we write a lot of. So very specific, in endorsement enhancements for classes of business, Jeff. So we're kind of iterating on the insurance product right now that we have, and then we're planning for what's the next big thing. And it's been a good, healthy debate. We'll land the plane on that sometime soon. But the other piece of it is there are a decent amount of work comp options out there that our agents are using within those comparators too. So we're kind of, we're debating the ROI. Where are we going to get the most bang for our buck, and where can we help our agents as well the most with placing business?
Cannabis?
Do you know? So Becky Monfrey, right?
Mm-hmm.
She and I used to work together at I always call it super regional carrier. And we actually kind of put together a proposal. It was like half tongue-in-cheek joking, but we were really kind of serious. We wanted to stand up a digital MGA for dispensaries and call it Brownie, because that was back in the day when like pie came out and cake came out. So we were like let's stand up this digital MGA and call it Brownie. But more importantly, like let's stand up a digital MGA that can have different brands that are very focused on certain, niches and certain program business. And it was very hard to get anything like that approved because it's very bold and big, right? And that's why she and I actually both joined Coterie within a 6-month period because we saw the opportunity and we're trying to push it. But if I can get the paper for some cannabis, I will certainly push that out, Jeff. I'm not opposed to it. I just need to find a carrier partner out there that's willing.
So when I'm in Vegas, I'm going to run into people. I'm saying, hey, I know somebody that want to build Brownie. You got to meet this girl. I'll be my.
It'll be a Coterie sub-brand. It will be Brownie powered by Coterie Insurance.
Oh, I love that. Okay, so you guys are in Cincinnati, the headquarters.
Yeah.
Which is like is Cincinnati the stepchild to Columbus in terms of insurancing? Do you think you guys get overshadowed since all the cool kids are kind of in Columbus?
Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I have an appreciation for both cities. I don't want to talk bad about any cities.
Is there a rivalry?
I think I am a Wisconsin fan, so I prefer to go to Cincinnati over Columbus most days of the week. But like to your point earlier, like I grew up in Wisconsin, surrounded by a whole bunch of regional mutual carriers. So I don't know. I would rival like the Wisconsin community is cooler, just because I have a bias.
We got to get another Wisconsin community person out here and just talk about it.
Yes. Well, I mean, you had Emma, right? Emma Roloff. Yeah. She's Wisconsin. Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's right.
She's just down the road from me in Madison. And there's a few others. I'll give you some more ideas.
Okay. We'll chat offline about that.
Yeah.
So one thing I like about Cincinnati and Columbus is they have those InsurTech Ohio events.
Yeah.
And I've been to one myself, and it's really cool how they have the hosting of the event at the brewery and, letting people speak and get their sponsor in there, spotlight to the sponsors. I went there one time and I was like, man, this is like the coolest place. Everybody here is in insurance. It's so chill, so laid back.
Yeah. We actually, I've been to some of those events and I love the team at InsurTech Ohio. So as much as I'm
cool.
Kind of giving them crap about being in Ohio, I love that team. There's a lot of talent. I love the community and the ideation and just the bouncing off of ideas that they've brought to the table. And just, I mean, they formed at a time when it was really important for, I think, the insurance community, the traditional insurance community in Ohio, to understand what was going on around them in the industry. So they served a really good purpose of educating all of those carriers who have been around forever, right? And letting them see like, well, this is what is kind of popping up in the technology space. And these are things you should keep your eye on, and connecting the dots and the networking that they provided, I think was very important and critical in that time. We just started, I need to have just like a little bit more time and energy for this, but we just started Wisconsin InsurTech, like meeting of the minds. And we met for the first time 2 weeks ago, Jeff.
What city was that?
Yeah, that was in Madison. So we have another
It was a
on the
meetup.
calendar for January, but I'm hoping that at some point we get enough interest where we can make it a little bit more InsurTech Ohio-ish. And
What does January look like in Wisconsin?
it's beautiful. It's white. It's crisp. It's sunny.
Oh, that could be a cool video. Just post up especially all the snow in the background. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we talk about a lot of fun stuff. Now, in your career, right? Let's just say someone followed your path. 67% was the number I read of how many women, the percentage of women in insurance, right?
Yeah.
And you've been through corporate America from one place to another place and kind of seen it all. So if people come into insurance and look at insurance corporate America, right? And you went through director role to VP role to all kind of leadership roles. We had a lot of leadership roles, right? What's the challenge like? What is their challenge to go through the ladder and prove yourself?
Yeah. I mean, Jeff, I don't think any of the challenges that I have are unique to the insurance industry. So I'm just going to put that out there. Like other women leaders in different industries have similar challenges, right? And I think to some degree, staying super humble and not having an ego as much as you possibly can will play in your favor. Because sometimes you have to make your idea someone else's idea to actually get it done. And putting the business first and putting the teams first, I think has been something that's not always been easy to do, right? But it's something that has worked for me in order to drive the results that we need, but then also support the needs that the team has, right? Like my thought process as a leader has always been like, my job is to set the stage for success for my team.
You want to win
for them as much as I possibly can, because they're the experts. They know what needs to be done, especially now in my role. I'm not close enough to the day-to-day to really say, like, this is what we need to do tactically in order for us to be successful. So I trust my leaders on my team to be able to drive that stuff. But my job is to clear the hurdles and make sure the stage is set up for success so they can operate their teams efficiently and effectively.
So another hard one.
Yeah.
When you try to attract the talent, right? Everybody can attract talent. Everybody has recruiters. But the challenge is always, how do we attract the top 10% talent?
Yeah.
What do you look for that qualify them in the top tier? Like, what are your things that the if factor that you look for when you bring out and building your team?
Yeah. So we have 4 core values at Coterie that we really look for when we're doing hiring. And we actually have some culture interviews too, to make sure there's a good culture fit. But the one piece outside of humility, because that one's really important to me, is passion. Like we can teach any intelligent people, what we're doing, how the product works, how to sell insurance, but the drive and the passion to like want to win, and the energy level of someone, especially in a high growth organization, to want to continuously grow, and they're like hungry to go out and sell more, or they're hungry to help support the hyper growth. That's something that I'm looking for all the time. But that can't come with a big ego, because that also doesn't work within our culture.
Is there a big ego around insurance?
Not at all. I've never ever seen any ego in insurance, Jeff. Have you?
Never. Man, this has been fun. So in the next year, when I bring you back on the pod,
Yeah.
a year from now, what are some of your comfortable goals and uncomfortable goals in the next year for Bobbie?
For me, man. So I admittedly have been very heads down into Coterie for the last good 2 years, really trying to drive results, rally the team around, how we're going to grow as a company. One of my personal goals is just to get back out networking more. I feel like I'm not as connected to my network as I once was. And I'm starting to feel that, like, it's like a little isolating because we're a fully remote company, and all of my friends that work in InsurTech, I haven't done a good job of doing reach outs and staying connected. So that's a personal goal of mine. A very professional goal for me in this next year is to double our company. I think it's a little bit of a stretch, but it's doable. So really trying to help set the stage for success to make sure my team is able to operate at maximum efficiency to grow as quickly as we can. And that's going to have a lot to do with nurturing our partnerships too.
Double the company is the big goal. I like it. I like it.
Yeah, it's a big, hairy goal, but man, like, we did it last year. We might do it this year, or we're going to get pretty darn close. So I'd love to have like a 3 year in a row where on average, we double the company over the last 3 years.
What if we call it double the company plus Brownie?
Plus Brownie. Hey, like, if Brownie helps double the company, I'm good with that too.
And that means
by the way, that is not David approved. That's just I'm just throwing that out there. That's fully just Bobbie's idea.
we'll send the copy of this podcast to David. We should have David on the pod.
You should.
The last time I saw him was I think it was ITC, or no, it was InsurTech Insights last year.
Yeah.
So
he'll be at ITC too. We have a team that's going to be there.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Okay. Well, I am going to put link to Bobbie Collies in the comment section. And those of you that want to reach out to her, please do follow her, connect with her. And if you want to sign up for Coterie, please reach out in the link in the comment section. And thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks, Jeff. It's always a pleasure. Great to connect again.
All right. Have a great one.